left her body in Harvard above me. I saw no shadow. I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me.
Whoa, we did it, you guys. What's going on? Welcome back to the Burly Fishing Podcast. We are live and we are late and we are sorry. We have two amazing guests with us lined up for the show today. So we've got Corey and we've got Kelly from Super K Jigs. They're going to talk to you all about their amazing handmade jigs that they're doing. And we're working with them and they're sending us tons of jigs and we're going to be using them this year and it's going to be awesome. So Corey, Kelly, how you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing really good.
Awesome. Thinking we're gonna have some fun conversations today. We got, some really hard-hitting questions, some real controversial topics we're gonna cover. We never do any of that. So before we get into it, guys, you know the drill. If you like the podcast, if you want to see more of them, if you want to help us out, you can subscribe, smash a like on this video, ring that notification bell, maybe share this video that's going on right now with your fishing friends. That'd be helpful. They could jump on live because guess what? We're doing another giveaway. So we got a $25 gift card for you guys, sponsored by Monster Bass. We're going to talk about them here in a second because we got some upcoming things you might want to know about from them that are pretty cool and we're excited about. But we appreciate them sponsoring the podcast. It's $25. We're going to give away to a random chatter sometime later on in the stream. So hang tight, stay here, pay attention. And when I say chat, 3, 2, 1 chat, then you just throw something in chat. We're going to choose a random chatter. You win $25 gift card. Other than that, you guys can follow us everywhere. YouTube, obviously, Instagram, Facebook. We're on TikTok. We do things. We post stuff sometimes. Paul's our king of TikTok. He's going to make it way better. I promise you guys. And, you can super chat, which is a thing. It's a feature on YouTube. It's a form of donation. It's a way for you guys to support the show. We take those donations, we turn them right back into reviews. So stuff we buy, things we do, jigs we throw, right, Super K? We're going to do stuff like that. So if you guys want to help out the show, we appreciate you. Not something you have to do, but something that, it would be awesome. Let's get into some updates, yo. We got some things coming up. Yeah. So first of all, right behind me,
I like how you start with this.
I made it bigger. This is the most important update I have. No, it's the least important, so it goes first. We got better stuff to talk about. I made this thing bigger, and I'm proud of it. So now it is 8 panels. But I will say, I don't know if he's in chat right now, but Fishing with T-Man messaged me on Instagram, called me out, straight up just like trumped me on this thing and goes like, yeah, mine's 12 of those panels. It's like, oh, cool, bro. So Fishing with T-Man, he's always on these chats. You're awesome, bro. You got me beat on that one. So a little upgrade that's in my latest video, which drops tomorrow, you guys. I did what I think is a really cool concept. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I'm trying to collaborate with more creators, and I can't travel as much. It's just not feasible, really. And if I have to cross the entire country to do so, it's kind of a pain in the butt. I do want to do that in future months where we can actually go fish and do other things. It snowed in Texas this week. I'm just saying, like, not going there to be warm right now. But I did a Tackle Warehouse mystery box swap with Debo's Fishing. So I sent Debo's Fishing a mystery box from Tackle Warehouse that I put together my dang self. He actually said he liked it, so I'm just saying, you guys, you're gonna want to watch that.
He kind of had to. The video's already out there.
He could say yes. He probably did in the video. He's like, yeah, bro, I loved it. Oh my god, this is trash.
This is a shit box.
So I sent him a box. We just capped it at like a value of $50. So he's unboxing the box I sent him on his channel tomorrow. You'll see that video in the afternoon, and then you're gonna see the video of the box I got from him that I unboxed at our normal time, 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to drop there. So let me know what you guys think. If you think that concept works, if we can do this, then I'm going to cold call a whole bunch of creators and start sending them Tackle Warehouse boxes, and we'll do some fun unboxings that way. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I will say the baits that he sent me, because I unboxed it today and did the video. Nice. Like, it's almost like he knows me really well. It's so awesome. Upcoming from Monster Bass, guys, real quick, 2 things you got to know about. Number 1, tungsten weights. Monster Bass is making them. They are very affordable. We're going to get some sent to us, so we're going to be flipping them a whole heckin' bunch, and you guys can expect to see some videos of that. But I think you guys are going to like them, so check them out. They're dropping a video on that tomorrow as well, with the intro and the link and the place you can buy the things. And I think they're 25% off right now too. So it's like a whole pack of them.
I think you get a couple of each.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of tungsten.
No, it's a ton. I think it's like you literally every size they make, and you get a couple of each size. It's freaking sweet.
So that's rad. And then their March box, just want to let you guys know, there'll be more content coming out of this. So just real briefly, is the Bassmaster Classic winning lures box. So every lure that's in this box coming out next month has won a Bassmaster Classic. They got some pretty hyped vids coming out on it too. We previewed a video today.
Dude, and some of the baits are actually coming out of retirement. So no longer made bait that is actually going to be coming back. It's kind of a genius idea, not gonna lie. It's kind of awesome.
So Rick had to sign a lot of non-disclosures to get the the list of lures and get them out there. So you guys should check it out. It's gonna be pretty hype. Last real shout out I got to throw you guys, because you guys asked me for this last week. In fact, you demanded it. I didn't think that many people would ask for this thing, but we created a Discord. There's now a Burly Fishing Discord, and Chaz is going to, unless he already did, drop it in chat. So if you guys want to join, it's invite only for you guys in chat right now. So everybody in chat, you're cordially invited. It's in there. There you go. There's Discord. Go do the thing. Let's figure this Discord thing out. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's just an easier way for us to communicate, talk to you guys a lot more. I think it'll be nice. So jump on there, anybody in chat if you want to, and then we'll expand it from there. We'll open it up to the rest of the audience later on. So I think that's enough plugs. Is that enough?
Are you
plugs?
sure?
Yeah, I believe so. We've plugged all the plugs. Let's get into the dang show.
So let's go ahead and plug the guests. So we have Corey and Kelly from Super K Jigs. Welcome, both you guys. So I'm gonna. I had like
we should explain who is who. Like they got their name on name tags.
I was getting there. So
we got this question up top. Okay.
Corey, can you wave?
That's me.
There, see, we did it. Kelly, can you wave? Yeah. We're just. I don't care that they have names.
We're getting to the
we
roles.
just made them wave.
So Corey, dope mustache. Okay,
Thanks.
that's Corey. Kelly, dope hockey jers. He's ready to roll.
All right. So before we get into the introductions, before we do anything, everyone knows that it's snowing in Texas and the entire world is like collapsing, right? So their entire world is ending because they have to deal with sleet for a week. I'm just joking, by the way. I understand that they're like not built for this, and life is pretty miserable, and people are sick, and they're also dealing with not having power and bursting pipes and awful things like that. So I hope everyone is safe, but I'm still gonna make fun of you for the rest of the show. Deal with it. So knowing that that's the deal, we're gonna get into we call it the Q with the D, the question of the day, and it's just like a nice, pun intended here. It's a nice icebreaker. It gets things going. So my question for everyone here is, each of you come up or give me a solid snow and or winter, either funny or insane story, because both of you are in Wisconsin. You have some experience with cold weather. I will go first so that you have an example to follow and to give you some time to think about it. I will tell. At one point, when I was growing up, we had a 1/4-mile driveway, and it like wound like back and forth, and it was like up in northern Michigan, and it had rained like half the prior night, and then the temp dropped like 10 below, and you got this like the crust that you get on your car where your entire vehicle is just encased, and you can barely tell it's there because the ice is so like crisp and clear, like it's almost like it doesn't exist, but then you walk up and you realize you have like a candy shell around your vehicle. We had that, and it was the most beautiful black ice I've ever seen in my life. No sled, No lubrication of any kind. You could legitimately just stand at the top of. We were the last house for this huge long driveway of like houses. You could stand at my garage and slide the entire quarter mile out to like the main road. With no effort. No, like legitimately did that because school was closed. Did that the
Yeah.
entire day. The entire day. Nothing else happened. We may have eaten lunch. That might have been it. Unbelievable. It was like the greatest day ever.
It's obvious we both live in Michigan, so I too had this day. Like I was there in the same state, but we've actually had like multiple days while I was in like between high school and college where we had ice storms, legit ice storms where everything is just covered in ice. The entire tree is just ice, and like branches are breaking off and blowing power lines and all that stuff. And some of that did happen in Texas, so we feel for you folks out there. Like it's not fun to not have power when it's cold. You guys are lucky you don't get this as much as we do, but we still feel for you because really, I mean, honestly, they're not prepared for it, which is the crappy part about this. So we feel sorry for that. But we had these ice storms, and one of the ice storms, I was in college and I had like, I had a 9 to 5 job and I'm supposed to go to work one day, and I walk outside not thinking anything of it because why would you warm up your car during an ice storm? So my car is just covered in an entire sheet of like 1.5 inch thick ice, and I'd go like banging on the window. I'm like, I'm not getting into this thing. Try the handle. The entire thing is completely sealed. Just cranking on the handle because that's always a good idea. Rips the handle off, then proceeds to be like, well, I'll just get into the passenger side. So I go boil some water. I'm like, I'm just gonna dump boiling water on my car. We're gonna unfreeze this thing. We go get inside. Could not get through this ice. Could not. Spent hour and a half just freezing my tail off out there, not getting into my car, breaking it beyond belief, and called into work like, hey, my car is a legitimate ice cube. I guess I'm not coming into work today. Today was not a good day. Sorry. And they just let it slide. So, yeah, I mean, that's a Midwest ice story for you guys. Feel for us down south. But yeah, Corey, Kelly, what are some of your snow and ice stories? I'm sure you got plenty.
I think we're all gonna have ice stories. I mean,
Yes.
I mean,
People
like
worry about
I
the
remember.
snow. It's the ice that's the problem.
Yeah, I actually remember driving my one of me and Kelly's mutual friends' cars one day, driving back from being a contractor down south in Portage one day, and it was super slick ice, and I go behind the car, just driving on the highway like 55, and the car in front of me literally starts doing a 360 and spinning around, and my buddy Troy's like, hit the brakes, hit the brakes. I'm like, I can't. I don't want to crash.
Not a
So I
good
just
idea.
drove right past him as the guy was facing the other direction in the same lane as me. I drove right past him, and him and Troy like almost touched. It was, I mean, that's
Yo.
what you get in Wisconsin. You just got to be ready for it. We didn't crash or nothing, made it through. I mean, it was the craziest story I've ever had. I mean, I
Dude,
think
I've actually
back me
I've
up.
actually had the same thing happen to me on a highway.
I've been the other car.
Paul,
been
we
the
were
other
talking about
car.
this on the road trip. We were driving back from Wisconsin after seeing you, Kelly, and like it hit Chicago that weekend. So we're driving through Chicago when it was just a shitstorm. It was crazy, and we're
6
plowing through.
jackknife trucks.
Yeah, like just all sorts of semi trucks off the highway, and we start talking about other times we've like spun out, had winter accidents or like seen accidents as we're driving through it. Great time to talk about it, by the way.
I was just gonna say, horrible time to talk about that. What are you doing?
Paul's like, it's fine. This is fine. So Kelly, what's your story?
Oh, I think the one I've got is I lived in Maine for 13 years. So moved out 2003. What was supposed to be just a little summer out on the East Coast turned into 13 years of being over there. So December 2nd, we have a snowstorm roll in, and I'm nighttime, Saturday night. I'm like, no big deal. I'll get it in the morning. Now, mind you, when I went out there, I had just come out with all my summer gear, so I had no shovels, none of that stuff. I wake up in the morning and go out. There's 36 inches of snow on the drive. And I've got a broken grain shovel, and I spent 8.5 hours shoveling out, trying to get it done in time to be able to go in and watch the Packer game. But it was just unbelievable. I'd never seen that much snow accumulate in that amount of time. It was insane. And it was, everything was fine. And then you get out to the road where it's all that nasty plow slop. and
Yeah.
that 6 feet, I didn't think I was gonna make it.
I would have given up for sure.
I wanted to. There was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Does everybody remember the snowpocalypse in Minnesota, when Mall of America Field caved in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The irony is, I mentioned before we got on that I used to live in Minneapolis, or maybe it was on the show, I can't remember, but I used to live in Minneapolis, and I was going to like look for a place to live and do the interview and all of that, like the day that happened. Like I landed in Minneapolis, and I remember they had like bulldozed.
How'd you land?
They bulldozed all of the runways, and I remember like the snow was here, and then the plane just like disappeared underneath of it, and I was like, "This is stupid! Like, there's no way." And
So
then
it was Die Hard 2.
Yeah, and then I'm in the airport, and I look up at the TV, and literally this is a video of the dome collapsing, and like literal tons of snow just like exploding out of the field. And I'm like, this is not right. And then I go to like then I go to do the interview, and it's like 25 below, and everyone else is like kind of walking around like it's normal, and I'm like, bro, everyone should be dead. How are you alive? This is bonkers. So people, I do feel for people who are dealing with this when they're not used to it, because I've been there before when you step into a tundra that you're not expecting.
Yep.
Good luck. I hope it doesn't last. So we get into the good stuff. So first of all, I want to do just like the quick, the elevator speech of like what is Super K Jigs, but then I would like you guys in your own words to describe kind of how you guys met. And how we got to the point where Super K Jigs is like a thing.
You want the whole story now?
So first hit me with kind of how do things split out between the two of you guys at Super K?
Well, yeah. So Kelly and I have known each other for a long, long time, way back before he went to Maine, and we've always been fishing buddies. You know, back in the day, we trout fished and everything else. And we always kind of talked about just jokingly wanting to own a fishing company, and never thought anything of it. Really just kind of like blah, 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 you know, talk. And I fished some small, like localized tournaments over on the western side of the state, and started using this certain kind of jig from a guy that was running the tournament series that I knew, Greg Kazuski. And he was making these jigs by hand for probably 10 or 15 years before I even knew about them. You know, so they've been around for quite a while, very good following up in the Northwoods. And, you know, I was Greg's friend for quite a while. And, you know, when you see something like that you really have a really great product and everything's made by hand and they have the top quality components, and, you know, you can't just rip them apart. When he told me he was thinking about selling it, he gave me a heads up. And I just thought it was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up, and I wanted to get Kelly involved, you know, because being that I was in sales forever, I knew that we had that aspect of it tied up. But Kelly's like a master of, you know, marketing and production and stuff like that too. So I couldn't do it without him. You know, I asked him right away. I wasn't going to do it by myself. I couldn't do it by myself at the time with, you know, situation at home. So he stepped up and, you know, joined me on this venture, and a couple of years later, we're cooking with gas. I think, you know, we're having a good time. So
that is freaking awesome. So then so you kind of had an opportunity, right? When did you guys start thinking like, I mean, because obviously day one, there's like the shock of like, okay, like now I'm essentially in charge of this business, right? At what point did the shock wear off, and then it become like where you're telling people like, this is my other job? Because I'm assuming both of you have other jobs. I know Corey, I know you do. Kelly, is Super K Jigs your 24/7, or is it like only like the night portion of that?
No, I mean, I'm not on payroll. I was a carpenter, a hammer swinger for years and years and years. And so I always get the occasional, hey, can you come remodel my bathroom? Can you come build me a deck? So I pick those things up here and there, but beyond that, I'm pretty much doing production and sales and stuff. So it's well over a full-time job. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, I bet, dude.
The days are full. I freaking love that, man.
Dude, I saw when like you were helping Wisconsin Wildman, who was on our show last week. Guys, go back, watch that episode.
Who's on right now, by the way?
He's on here right now?
He's in chat.
Is he in here?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Yeah, it's just being cool.
I'm watching chat. I didn't even see him in there. Hello, sir. How are you? But anyway, so like when you came out when we were ice fishing, and you brought him like all those custom jig runs that you were trying to figure out like his custom jig line. Dude, you're tying all those? Like, and you're just like, here, do these work? Like, and that's like iteration number 50.
Right. You didn't see the pile of jigs that came before that, so.
Oh yeah. Oh,
the thing
God.
is I kind of wanted Wisconsin Wildman to apologize for that, because he's mentioned it a couple times, like very reverently and obviously with thankfulness, but never with remorse.
Who would be sorry about getting free jigs?
Well, and they're not just free; they're freaking sweet too. Because I remember looking at them like, dude, these are legit. So, next question is, where
hang
did
on.
that
Before you jump to the question, I want to throw something out there. Guys, my dad is in chat again. Dad, hi. How are you doing? He just wants to let you all know that he can recall that in 1968 they dug tunnels and made igloos from all the snow that fell, and then in 1978, throwback stories, here we go, being stuck in the dorm at Ferris State. So we took a toboggan to the liquor store and got a keg. Good times. That's my dad, guys.
You
That's
can't
my dad.
beat that.
No. And I'm not even gonna try. So where
anyways, go.
Yeah, so this is like always one of my favorite questions to ask whenever we talk about somebody who has a company. But and maybe it was something else before, but where did the name Super K actually come from?
That is from Kazuski. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So the last name of the previous owner.
Yes. So
Yep.
Kelly has nothing to do with it. It's not all glorified about my name or anything.
Just take it and run with it. Man. Just take it and run with it.
I was wondering, I was just gonna let him have it if he wanted it, But...
For the next podcast.
Right.
I freaking love it. So can you walk us through, we've already had a couple of questions in chat about it. Can you walk us through, because we do have a lot of people that come onto our show and definitely that download the show. I know that have even reached out to me in the last couple of weeks that, are not like seasoned anglers. So for those folks, can you kind of explain like what are the basic components of a jig? Like what are the components that make a jig not a spinnerbait?
I mean, Corey, if you want to take this one.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I mean, starting out, one of the things you try to do when you're beginning fishing is just find a couple baits you can throw in your box or your backpack and go walking around down the banks, right? I was always a spinnerbait guy back in the day, or like a Rapala guy, or like a worm guy. That's all I had,
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out about swim jigs, and I basically had swim jigs and worms for a while, and it's just there's a different presentation. I mean, but they're easy to throw. They're very versatile. But basically, a jig is just a lead-headed head, either bullet. There's 50 different kinds of heads, but basically you're looking at some kind of bullet head that will swim through kind of like grass or some kind of weeds or material, with a skirt on it that kind of imitates a bait fish or a crustacean like a crawfish or whatever it may be. So we can change the colors with the different colored tabs that we put on, the different color silicone and the head colors. And with the trailers out there nowadays, you can literally make anything from a goldfish to you can make anything you want, really. And Kelly does a good job of matching up some stuff and inventing some new colors too that people don't throw a lot, which have been really popular this last couple of years. So
Yeah, people were loving some of the colors that I was posting, and I love that you also just described Paul's literal tackle box like until this last year. Yo, cheers! We got a super chat from Walker. Heck man. He says, "Hey guys, love the content. Just wondering if you could give me some tips. Ice fishing for largemouth baits, depths. I'm from Montana, and going tomorrow."
You have to say it like that?
Montana.
It's
Montana.
first of all, it's Montana.
Montana, right? Yeah.
Montana. In my head, I was going MT. That is what state? Throw a guess out here. Yeah, I say Lowrance and people don't like that. All right, that's why we call her Lauren now. Anyways, so tips for ice fishing for largemouth. Do you guys ice fish largemouth like on purpose? Paul caught one when we were fishing there. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But do you guys normally do that in Wisconsin?
I mean, there's definitely, the availability for it, but it's like it's like anything else. Throw a shiner on a tip up and set her down there.
That's what it is.
Dude,
That's number one, absolutely. I will also say, if you have maybe an aqua view, just dunk that camera, look around, dude. No, but I really like if you know they're there, like if you're on a good bass pond, good bass lake. I've had a lot of luck just going on like tiny ponds where they're usually stocked. Like there's a lot. And if you guys don't believe us, go back to the aquatic biologist episode a few episodes back. Guy knows his stuff talking about this, right? So found a lake, tons of pike, tons of bass. Hard not to catch them, and just bigger jigs with plastics, like high action plastics. I had a ton of luck, and when in doubt, throw a big fat juicy waxy on there. You can do that, and then ripping like small spoons. And you guys have seen me and Paul doing this on our videos recently, but spoon tipped with waxies or a blade bait or a very small lipless. I've had a ton of luck with all of those things to get bass, and they're so fun to pull in on 3-pound test line. Like it's a nightmare. I pulled one in just the other week on a video I dropped on Monday, but like on the ultralight tickle stick from 13 Fishing, which didn't have enough reel power to even reel on it, so I had to hand line them in on 3-pound test, and I was like, oh, it blew my mind. So fun. Oh, what is a waxy? A wax worm. Sorry, somebody was asking in chat. Wax worms. You can get them at the store.
Yeah, another thing I wouldn't be afraid of, slow jigging like a small rattle trap, or one of my favorite vertical jigs out there is the Samo Chubby Darter. Those things are spectacular.
Yes.
I mean, the zipper is also a good one, but those Chubby Darters, I mean, you don't have no bait, nothing. The action's phenomenal, and they catch everything. I mean, I've caught pike, fish, bass, everything on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to throw a net head either. Like if you got a net head in the box, man, they'll eat in that stuff in winter time too. Me and Kelly fish with them all the time when we're out there just messing around, see if we catch one. So.
Oh yes. And
this is becoming sociable.
Yes. This is a social hour. I don't know if you guys know. That's why it's usually 1 to 3 hours long. So we got Chris Shoe here, $5 super chat. Thanks, bro. Shoe's in the house. And he says, asks rather, Kelly, do you indeed tie every bait? And will you be debuting any more hard baits to your collection?
I do personally tie everything that goes out the door.
That's awesome.
Pause for a complete.
Yeah.
Like, let that sink in.
Okay.
Look, show them what's behind you. You see all those tackle boxes behind you? Those aren't actually tackle boxes, you guys. Those are actually silicone tabs for tying jigs.
Oh my god. That's nuts. Dude, you can't beat it. And they look so good, man. We unboxed a bunch on the channel just the other day, and like people, I mean, they went and bought some, so obviously just by looks they're like, yes, very nice. I can't wait till we can actually take them out on the water and fish with them. That's gonna be awesome. What about hard baits? Any thoughts? Because you guys have that top water, right? That comes in a few different colors, I think.
Right, we do have that. That was just kind of a little trial deal. We kind of talked a little bit actually earlier today, and I think we're just gonna stick. If it's got a skirt, we're in.
I like
got
that.
a skirt. We're in.
I was gonna leave it.
I love
Thanks,
it.
Jeff, for
Nope. Don't leave it.
You guys like our
That's
new
great.
T-shirt logo or what?
There's the shirt,
dude.
man.
I will send it to me in large. I will rock it on the daily.
All right,
I
solid.
long for this idea. We've been talking about this forever, and I'm gonna just put it here on a live, so it has to happen. So Paul's brother, Andy, makes amazing artwork, amazing logos. Our podcast logo and the standard that logo right there, he actually made these for us. What I really want is to put him on, basically when we need you, please help mode, where he can like make a per episode of the podcast special run t-shirt. That's what I want. And if you guys want that in chat, just say it enough times and we'll go beg Andy to make it work.
You will literally need 50,000 people because he's on retainer, and it's for like gigantic bands that literally could just like come in here and buy my house if they felt like it.
we got this, you guys. We got this.
So for those who don't know, my brother is in a band. They're called We Came as Romans, and he has about 5 side businesses.
Yeah.
Some of them that inclusive of those side businesses is he's a graphic designer. This is definitely his jam, but he does like custom, literally anything that you design digitally within the music industry for a lot of people. So yeah, he did this for us in like 25 minutes.
Yeah. So all we need to do is find a time when he's got 25 minutes. Let's say this: we got 52 episodes a year. 5 of them.
We've reached our limit.
5 of them. 5 of them will make a custom run T-shirt, and this is in the running.
I was saying that one is absolutely that just skyrocketed to the top of the list. That's freaking genius. So we talked about like this is a great transition. So talked about how you're making the jigs by hand. My question is twofold. One, in general, how long does it take you to make like a jig that you know you're not going to make like 150 of? Like if you're messing around with a couple different ones and you kind of have like a mismatch of like art, and you decide like, okay, I'm gonna make a flipping jig, and then you kind of grab a couple pieces and you're just gonna make one. How long would it take you to make like just one jig?
So it's a little hard to say because I do everything in kind of quantity batches. I try to pour, sit down and pour anywhere from 20 to 100 heads minimum. But I have kind of broke it down as best as I can, and start to finish include, the pouring, the cleaning, the painting, the eyes, the skirt, the weed guard, all of that. You're anywhere between 12 and 15 minutes a jig.
Wow.
Okay. So that was actually
Wow.
my next question. So now I have a question of, once you have all the components in front of you, how long does it take you to just tie a skirt on?
That takes, I don't know, you can bang out 2 or 3 a minute.
Wow.
Everyone
Okay,
else
the
that's
best part.
not talking on the show, let that sink in. Jeff and I made some spinner baits and some jigs with the wrong wire.
We should show Kelly
No,
the baits we made.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
I want to do it. We're gonna do
Kelly
it.
and I have made some pretty bad looking baits.
Bro,
Don't worry.
Okay, I'm gonna stand by my work because I did catch a fish, a nice one.
Doesn't mean anything.
I know, but I didn't make
You
it.
put
to
a
look
thing
good
in
to
their
me.
face, and they were like, "It's got a skirt. I'm in."
Actually, the irony is we were having a tough day, and that was like the game changer because that was the black and purple, and that flipped the day.
At the campground?
No, that was like right out here, like by our house. Remember? Before you started nailing them on swim baits,
Yes, that day. I remember that day.
I popped them on that. That was sweet. Anyways,
that was the day we flipped the boat on purpose.
Yep, that was that day. Yeah, there's a TikTok for you.
Go find it, people.
God, we tied them. They were garbage. But you know what was? So
they were terrible.
So bad. I tie flies, and so I thought this was gonna be like in the same vein, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna have no problem with this. This is gonna be fun. Like I'm good to go. I sit down with this jig and I realize like the weed guard, it makes everything god awful. Like trying to tie the skirt on with a weed guard when you're using wire, it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Like a lot harder, 10 times harder.
There's a trick for that.
I'm sure there is.
Don't have
we
the
use
weed guard in there.
we
and
use
epoxy it in
zero
after.
tricks. We were like, let's play this like one life, no power ups, let's go. And let's just say it didn't work that well, but we did catch fish, so we're like, whatever, it's fine. Because I caught one on a spinnerbait I tied at the dam, and it was like a real nice smallie, and I was like, yes. Did a thing, made it happen. We got a couple questions from chat I want to hit you guys with here as well. So this one's actually from a little bit back. Sorry, we're late, bud. Fish in the Southeast did ask, and timeout.
Yo,
Dad, you don't have to do that, but thanks.
I'm in. Let's go.
Dad,
Thanks, Dad.
I didn't even get another one here. This is crazy. We're putting them down.
Oh, all right. Papa B Game, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. God.
He's gonna take it out of your allowance. Don't worry.
It's like when my dad and I drink, we just make pictures anyways, so he's just used to this. All right, thanks, Dad. I was asking a question before you rudely interrupted. Love you. All right, so let's see. We had from Fish in the Southeast, Corey and Kelly. I make soft plastic swim baits, and he's asking, how would I start selling my baits locally or online? Any like very brief tips you could give. Some of I know that we have a few here, and a lot of you guys reach out to me on Instagram, and I appreciate it too, by the way. Like, no hard feelings if I don't respond right away. But a lot of people making their own baits, making plastics, making swim baits, making hard baits, making jigs and spinner baits and stuff like that. So any suggestions if you got little, young entrepreneurs trying to get out in the world?
I mean, honestly, the best thing, for us, and what really helped us out the most is word of mouth. Get stuff in people's hands and tell them why it's worth spending money on.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, a good product will take care of itself, honestly.
Yeah, and if you're just doing local, those little shows, like in a normal year, those home shows and those sport shows, Kelly and I do those. This year is obviously a little different, but we've done those right away, and those helped out quite a bit. It's just getting to know people, meet a bunch of new clients in different areas. Wherever you want to work, you can go do a show there. So if you're trying to sell in a certain market, you can just go there and do that show, which makes a lot of sense, especially with young guys getting going. So.
The other piece of advice that's coming up a lot of times from people who are doing similar things is like, just start making things. Like,
yes.
Don't just start doing it. Like, don't wait for it to be perfect. Don't wait for the right opportunity. Don't wait till you have money or time, because you're never going to have those things. Start doing it.
So T-Ray in chat says, yes, I've been saying that. Burly baits. T-Ray, like every single live, is like, yo, when you start in this bait company? I'm like, bro, I got too many things right now, but maybe one day, maybe collabs with Super K. I don't know. Like, maybe there's a custom Burly jig. I'm just saying, it might happen. You guys know it's gonna be purple and chartreuse. It's only two colors we fished. We had Debo's fishing on. I don't know if you guys watch him at all, but he like hand paints all his hard baits, and they're beautiful, like just gorgeous. Wow. But he does a lot of like chartreuse and purple, and we're just like, yes, those are the only things we want in our lives right now. So yeah, I did want to cap like one more thing on that point. If you guys are making those baits, that's what Instagram's for, dude. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, start posting pictures, nice quality pics. Use your phone, use like portrait mode on the iPhone, do something, make it look nice, put it out there. People are going to see it and they're going to like it. I mean, if it's, good, and then, they're going to ask you about it. And if they ask you about it, then just DM them, try and like send them some baits, have them check them out. They fish them, they like them, start selling them to them. Like, that's just how the process goes. So like, you gotta grind it out. It's not going to happen right away, right? Super K, super easy overnight, like no problem, right? Business is the easiest thing ever.
I got to the point where I can make one in a couple of seconds. Like what, overnight for sure? No, not even close. So we had a question that came up a couple times. That it was something I wanted to get to later, but can you tell us, tell some folks about like some of the, because there is like a section of your webpage about getting a custom jig. Can you guys want to talk about that piece of things?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically any color head, any style head, any hook we use. I mean, all of our hooks are mustads. But if you want a quarter ounce swim jig with a 4-aught hook and certain color head, certain color eyes, certain color skirt, go on there. The more information you give us, the better I can bang out a good representation of what you're after.
Because it's like a little type-in window where you go and you say like,
Yeah.
it's basically an open window and you just say what you want. So like you're saying the more descriptive you can be in that little chat window, the better you're going to be able to nail it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you've got something that you're already fishing with and you want the same thing in our product, send me a picture of what you're after, or, the more detailed you can get, the better I can get you what you want.
I actually have a really good example of this. I had a swim bait that I used. It was the first swim bait that I ever had, and I didn't even know it was a swim bait. I just had it. I don't even know where I got it from. It was just in my box. This was years and years and years ago, and I didn't even know that like swim baits were like their own thing. I always thought of jigs as like what they were. This one just looked like it would fit a paddle tail perfectly, and so I put it on there and I started fishing it. And it became a confidence bait immediately. Like I could not miss. I was like, how am I just crushing? I'm crushing. And it was just like a red and white swim jig. And literally when I saw that you could do like the custom, I literally was like, I can see this jig in my head. And I totally would just be like, I would just describe that jig in like the greatest detail possible and be like, can I get 25 of these? And like, I'll be good for the rest of my life. Like, I think that is what that window like spoke to me immediately, because I don't know who made that jig. I don't know where it is. It's dead, and I don't
You'll
even
never
know.
find out.
Yeah, it's gone forever. But like I have a picture of it in my brain, and if I could do that, then like now I can have that jig if I really wanted it.
Bro, it's gonna pop up like that. The demon tongue, the dinner bell now from Frostbite. It's gonna pop up like that. Like, so Paul was talking up this ice fishing spoon that existed a long time ago, no longer exists. Or you found one. You found one original, like the other a couple weeks ago, but called the demon tongue. It's like a spoon, treble at the bottom, and then it's got like a little rotating piece like in the middle of it. And Frostbite makes like the exact same one. And
They bought the company.
Yeah, I mean, which was like. They were probably like, sure, here, take it. Like at that point, I don't know. But that's funny. Yeah, something like that jig might pop up that way. We did have a. My dad wants my cigar box. Hang on.
Oh, that's
this one. You want this one, Dad? All right, cool. I'll send this to you. It doesn't have cigars in it. It had fishing lures. Do you want like some of the old man lures I got? I can send you those too. I got walleye stuff. You fish that river there.
You can just text. You guys are related.
Yeah. So what time are you picking up the kids?
Yeah.
Anyways. So we did have a couple questions about, just fishing tips, right? So we got Connor Romanowski, nailed it. What bait should I throw in a pond that I never fished?
A worm.
Number one, pond bait, worm. 100%. Wait, are you saying live or Senko?
Sure.
Senko.
Yeah.
So at any rate, just throw a plastic worm out there. It honestly doesn't matter how. Wacky rig it. You can Texas rig it. You can go weightless Texas or weighted Texas. You're going to catch a bass. Like you're in a pond. There's a very great chance that no matter the color you throw, you're going to catch something.
And if it's alive, it'll still work great.
Yeah. Yeah, if you only had one bait, you just tie in a wacky rig worm with some green pumpkin worms, and that's all you had. That's all you had to do. That's all you had. You'd make it. You'd do all right.
Just be patient. Cast it out there. Let it sink. Give it a little pop. Let it sink. You got to be patient. Like that is the number one rule. But you will catch fish. So there you go. So we got Matt Mayer, Super K. So this is for both of you. What's your favorite color and style jig for the North Woods?
Well, go ahead, Corey, even though I know your answer already.
Yeah, the bluegill, the kazoo gill color.
It would have been the pea gill, but
yeah, I use one of the bluegill colors that we have pretty much is on one of my swim bait rods at all time. Either it's P-gill or kazoo gill, depending on the water clarity. So I'm not super picky, but one of those two is usually always tied on. And that's actually one of the funny things. When I was going to buy the company, I showed Kelly this jig. I'm like, look at this thing. I've had this for 4 years in tournaments, and it has 7 strands of silicone. I'm like, it still catches fish. I'm like, this is why we're buying this company. And he's like, all right, cool. And it was one of the really funny stories, you know.
All right, cool.
Like, that's just us, though. I mean, but that's probably what I would throw as a. I mean, I throw a lot of different colors, but you will always find a bluegill, like a kazoo gill or P-gill on my on one of my rods. So
nice. Love it.
Yeah, I had a blue clacking on almost the entire year fishing the river, and I was catching. Last year, I caught my first muskie at 43 years old. I caught between 15 and 20 muskies last year alone.
Wow.
He kept texting me. He's like, I'm like, you got your first one. He's like, I got my second one. I got my third one. He's like, and then it was picture upon picture. They were loving that bait last year for him.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. That was like me with pike, but I wish it was with muskie. Like, I never got into him until I got into him. But that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I was catching 4-pound smallies with the same bait. I mean, it was just, that thing was on fire last year.
Yes. You sent me some of those too, right? Like I got some that I can throw around. I'm gonna want to use that.
Good ones.
Yes. Awesome.
So I actually want to bring this up. It's funny you say muskie, because I didn't even realize that you guys had, what are they, is it the Kong and the Goliath, the two jigs you got, the big jigs you guys make for like pike, muskie, like predators?
Yep.
Dude, talk me through those. Like, explain one of those for people, because I did not know this was a thing. And I'm also getting a swim bait rig specifically for this year. Yes! Thank you. So, yeah, walk me through what you're holding up right now, because I'm beyond interested.
We're going to throw.
They're just our big bass lures now.
25 pounders only.
Yeah. You know, there was it's really funny story. When we bought the company, I was actually fishing some shallow rivers around here, and I love to fish muskies too. I grew up fishing some muskies in really shallow water. It was always throwing bucktails, and I never really got into the swim jig thing. Well, now that you have the ability to throw like a 1-ounce swim jig with a paddle tail, 7-8-inch paddle tail with a big 9-aught hook on there, you can fish a lot of water for muskies you never were able to throw baits in before. You know, they had the Sluggo. They had like they never really had like a muskie type jig though. They've had them, but they've never been really that great.
Mm-hmm.
This is something you can really chuck around, and you know, if you lose a bunch, I mean, they're not $25-$30 a piece, right?
Yep.
You can throw them in places where you wouldn't maybe get them back, and there's big muskies in spillways being caught. You know, there's just hard places to get at, and those jigs you can throw and let them fall in the current, you know, or you can just jig them back. There's just so many ways to fish them, and we have those ones, and we have the heavy football head jigs that some guys use for muskies, some guys use for down in Tennessee on the ledge fishing, you know, heavy footballs. So.
Heck yeah, man. I do have a couple more questions from chat for you guys here real quick, but I do want to call out, if you guys are checking out Super K Jigs right now, I don't know if you know, but we have a code for you guys to use, and it gives us a little kickback, and it shows these guys that we're doing our job on our side of things. So use Burly. Oh, it isn't. Oh, yeah, Chaz is putting it in chat, you guys. Look it. So Burly 15, BURLY 15, all caps on the Burly part. Do it. If you buy some, use that, and it helps us all out, all of us here, right on this podcast right now. So a couple questions from chat. We had Ella. So Ella, I'm sorry, Ella, I'm not going to try your last name. I'm going to slaughter it, and you're going to be mad at me. So we'll just move on from this, okay? So Super K Jigs. What type of jig is your K Plunk jig?
You want me to take? Oh, geez, I'm getting all the questions.
It's like the Spider-Man.
Yeah,
all right, I'll explain it. I don't know.
we use a lot of do-it molds. For the most part, we have. I mean, I don't know, Kelly. How many molds do we have, or do you have in the shop right now? Like 35, 40? I mean, we have a ton of molds. So this is like that Kaplunk is called the poison tail mold, and some of them are specially modified to fit our hooks. Some don't come with the right hooks, so we kind of change them as we get them and just modify them, and they hang them on the wall, and that's what Kelly uses all the time. But yeah, the K-Plunk is called a poison tail, I think is what they call it by a Do It. So.
And that's for
It's
like
more of a it's more of a punching jig.
Yeah, it's like a flipping jig.
So if you want to blow through some thick mats, stuff like that. But it is, quite honestly, it's a very, very versatile head. I mean, it's thin enough you can throw it as a swim bait. So our Kaplunks run 5 tabs, so there's a lot more skirt material on there. But you can, pull that as a swim bait, throw it as a flipping bait, punch it through the mats, blow through the lily pads. We make those up to 1 ounce. So, like people down in the southern states where you get those really, really thick mats, stuff like that, that thing will just explode right through there and get you down. So that's kind of what that bait is built for.
Nice.
And when he says, now I explain what a tab is, because you said they have 5 tabs. Now I know what that is now,
right.
But I know that people don't. So explain what a tab is.
So your tab is your silicone material. Comes in tabs.
So it's like 10 strands or 5 strands, or like a hand, like a couple. Is it 10?
22. So,
okay.
Oh, yeah, we got
it. That's one tab.
That's actually
5 of those.
In the industry, that's technically a half a tab, but in the way that we tie our jigs, that's considered a tab.
Kelly, so you got to say in the biz.
What? 110 strands.
Wow.
That's now nuts. You know why I was having trouble, because dude, it's way hard. Like I encourage people to go try and time one.
100%. Yeah,
I encourage people to go do it. I love tying flies. I actually really want to tie some like marabou jigs specifically for for river fishing.
For these guys.
Yeah, you guys are in trouble.
Here we go. And so I want that to go down, but man, it is way harder than you would think.
100%. You guys should definitely try it.
If you get the spinnerbait is this hard, the marabou is this hard.
Yeah, but I can use I can use thread and glue, and like I actually know what I'm doing at that point.
We used to tie flies too. Kelly and I used to tie our own flies and stuff back in the day. We were big trout boys back to start with too, so we've done it all too. It's that marabou is a different animal though. We thought it was just the same thing when we started tying them too. No, not
100%.
Sometimes you get embarrassed. It happens to me all the time.
So from chat,
that's a jig.
Yeah. So T-Ray from chat would like to let you guys know that your shimmer fish spinnerbait looks amazing, and I agree. It's pretty sweet. But I did have a couple more things from chat. So real quick, I did want to ask. So Fish in the Southeast asked this a few times, so I just want to hit it. How did you guys make the hard bait, the topwater? Did you just get a blank and like?
Yeah, we did those with a partnership actually with MONSTERBASS to create that lure
Gotcha.
with them, because we didn't have one yet, and we've always wanted to kind of explore it. I throw a lot of topwaters in my own personal tournament fishing stuff. I wanted to have a finesse style one, and we just don't, as Kelly and I don't have the capabilities to do all this stuff on our own.
Right.
So when Rick and I were talking, and we have done a couple hand tied box jigs for him, like where it's the whole box is all hand tied jigs.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to partner with him, and that was how we worked it out. So it was a good opportunity for us to get something that we didn't have and try it out. And that's why Kelly said it's limited time, because we only have a certain amount and they're gone. We just wanted to give them a shot. Nice to have, nice to be able to throw around, But yeah, we partnered with MONSTERBASS on those ones. So.
But they don't have skirts, so we're not gonna keep them. All right. So next up, we got I did like this question. So this is Mark Therialt. Anyways, Therialt, you try, Paul. You friggin' say a name one time. Anyways,
he knows better.
he like makes me say all the dang names. So at any rate, he said Therialt, thank you. Late arriving tonight, did they say what they used to tie their skirts with? Thread, wire, both. So if you got, I mean, if you're open to sharing, I don't know if this is like a trade secret that
Well,
you
you
do
can see
release
it.
but
Yeah, right. You can see it. I mean, it's not. We use 100% nylon thread. So it's a high tensile thread. And there's a couple of different reasons. And all of this was basically knowledge that was passed on to us. So Greg had this business for 10 years before we got it. What he was doing was working very well, so there was no reason to mess with it. And he is a very methodical guy. So there is a reason that he's taken was taken. His downside to the wire tie is you're always going to have that wire barb after you cut off the wire. And that's going to catch weeds no matter what. When you're pulling through the weeds, that's just another thing for it to gunk up on. So with thread, the thread blows right by the weeds and jig comes out clean, shakes off well. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, it's a lot easier to tie with.
oh yeah, and you guys tie the friggin' heck out of them. Like I remember pulling those out. I was like, this skirt is never coming off because I have had them. I've had them on jackhammers, on like the Z-Man jackhammer. Paul watched me do this. 2 jackhammers in a row, skirt gone, 1 pike, and like yeah, it's a pike, but at the same time, like it's just minimal kind of thread on there. So I think that was part of the case, but since just replaced it, unfortunately, with the silicone band because I need to figure out how to tie them myself. But yeah, you guys, I expect those to stay on for a long time because they're very well tied. I really like that. So I did have a couple other questions here. So we had I did want to call out so Mark Terrio. Yes, correct me if I'm wrong now. I think I did better. Said it rhymes with stereo in chat, and I find it very appropriate that his picture is a face palm guy. Like, oh, he didn't say my name right again. So just want to call that one out. Nice job. But anyways, so we did have a couple other questions. So we said, let's see. Lazar, oh my gosh, you guys, I feel like you're just trying to kill me.
Stick with first name and move on. Let's go.
Lazar, have you ever tried pike fishing on the fly? I mean,
Yes.
You guys trout fly fishermen, like
cool. Kelly, we had one on. We've had one on. I had a big muskie on up on the Montreal River up in a big muskie. We were together actually. Kelly and I. As a day he caught his 26-inch rainbow. We had a huge day. We had a 26-inch rainbow. I had a muskie on a fly, and we caught like a 4.5, 5 pound smallie on a stupid fly as well. Like it was just crazy. It was one of those days where everything was working out right. So yeah, we've done that. 9-weight, old St. Croix, letting her rip. You know.
So we got to go fly fishing together. But also, there's a super chat. Bing bang boom. So we got Hook Shank Hewitt, $2. Thank you so much. You can ask a question too. I don't see one attached to your super chat, but feel free to throw one in and we will answer it. But we appreciate you very much for the $2. All right. So one more question. We're going back to the show meet. So we got Everest Ice. What's the best trailer for spinnerbaits, in your guys' opinion?
Oh, for spinnerbait, that one,
I very rarely throw a trailer on a spinnerbait. Like once in a while, I'll throw a little the little twin tail.
Yeah,
the
twin tail's a good one. Yeah,
that's what I throw. I mean, really, only if I throw one. I have a bag of those, and that's it.
Isn't that Cream? I think Cream makes those. The twin tail. Yeah, it's just like a little worm shape.
Yeah, exactly. I got a white with like an orange tip, and I got a chartreuse one. I think that's the only thing I really put on because it goes on with a trailer hook really easy. You know, so.
That was like a crazy thing that I learned that people actually did was not throw trailers on spinner baits. And then I started trying it, and guess what? You still catch fish. So I was like, maybe they're right. I think it depends on also where you want that spinner bait in the water column as to what you're trying to do with it, what kind of cover you're fishing, if you want that to like catch on to stuff, and what you're trying to imitate, right? So there's a lot that goes into that. Great opinion on that though.
There are some places you have to throw them though. Like you have to put a trailer on to catch fish. Like there's certain parts of the Mississippi River where you have to throw a certain kind of worm on the back of that spinnerbait, or you're not going to catch a fish. And I've experienced it firsthand, being like, I don't need this trailer, and the other guy's like slamming them in front of me like 50 fish, and I'm like, all right, put the trailer on now. Fine.
Basically, listen to the fish, you guys. We do have David Ellers with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Question: if you were to pick one jig, not the Ned, he very specifically underlines in bold, like not the Ned. So one jig, not the Ned, for someone who hasn't fished skirted jigs for Sturgeon Bay smallies, what jig size and color would you pick?
That's you, Kelly.
Oh boy, no. So we just sat down with Cody Honner, who is one of our pro staffers, our elite pro staffers, and he's a big smallie guy. Loves fishing them, does well fishing them. He fishes a lot of tournaments in Sturgeon Bay. So he's got 3 jigs on his elite line. I would go to right away. The sneak attack, which is kind of more of a flare collared finesse football. The whisker ball is awesome. That thing just screams smallie all day long. And then his flipping style jig, the oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of it right now. Not the sneak attack, the Barney Stone. I mean, that's another quality one. So I mean, most of his lineup was literally built around smallie fishing. He's got a couple of swim jigs in that lineup, but really he's that's what he's after is smallies, and that's what those footballs and those flipping jigs, they do well there. Our hair jigs, the Hairy Mary. I mean, in May and June, dude, when the hair jig bites on, you can't go wrong.
That was actually going to be my call out, because that's you have one of the rare selections of like anybody, because it's sort of become like an old man thing that like people like don't want to admit kicks a lot more butt than like a lot of other things. But it's been a Wisconsin, Michigan sort of like staple for generations, the hair jig, and it crushes. I don't care what anybody says, period. The end. Forever.
So
I just want to go ahead.
I've been waiting all night to pull this out, but this one is put together just for you guys. So this is coming your way when I get
out. Yeah! Oh, dude.
The chartreuse hair.
So much boo.
So much boo, but in a good way.
Dude, that's
a big sick. Fat briefcase head.
I love it. That is freaking awesome.
I love it.
You're going to get so many pictures of like fish with that in its mouth.
The right way, not afterwards putting it in.
It's not even hooked.
Yeah, that thing is sweet. I love it. I do want to call out Paul Cooch is in chat.
Oh!
Sonny Cooch is in chat. I just want everybody to know. He's our bro. He's our guy.
That's his actual name. It's not made up.
Sonny Cooch, and then you just throw a beer into the wilderness. we went on a fishing trip one time. Cooch is one of our friends from college. We played rugby together, and we went on a fishing trip one time, and he was not able to come. So we missed him so much that when we were beering each other, we say like Sonny Bill, and you throw a beer to your buddy. And Cooch wasn't there, so we'd say Sonny Cooch, and we'd just blind chuck it into the woods. All right, R.I.P. to those brewskis. Anyways,
someone commented, Kelly, on the fact that you're drinking out of a carafe right now.
Actually, that's not a carafe. That's my. This makes everything taste better. Beer glass, hourglass, beer glass.
A carafe.
I just wanted to call it out so you'd hold it up because people were asking questions. So now you know. Knowledge is power.
Chaz, Kelly is extremely fancy. I don't know if you realize this, but
Highfalutin.
Oh yeah, just swimming in money.
Yeah.
Oh, the Kraken.
Now Chaz is just showing off.
Chaz.
So I want you guys to talk the folks here through the Elite Series, because we've kind of touched on it a couple times, and you had a great segue. Kind of how do those happen, and what can people expect? You know, what should they be looking for when they're looking at that portion of your guys' site?
So the Elite Series is, guys that, so Cody, both Cody and Kevin are big tournament fishermen. Cody does more of a national stretch of the tour, I guess. Kevin, he's a river rat, but he is just an unbeatable stick on the Mississippi. He goes down to the Ozarks and fishes down there. But I'll tell you, I mean, he won head-to-head series last year that he was in over in La Crosse, and he didn't even fish his honey holes. I mean, he's pulling out wins just fishing garbage. The guy knows what he's doing, and these guys, they know what they like to throw. They know what's good. So we sat down with them this year. This was kind of something we wanted to do, and we kind of got, we got them to cough up some secrets and say, hey, what are you throwing out there? We want our people to be able to use something similar, or the same thing or whatever. So based on their fishing style that fits our market, if you will, obviously they're throwing other stuff. They're throwing hard baits. They're throwing different things. But, when it comes to something with a skirt on, they're using our stuff, and they like, these are the patterns they're looking for. This is what they go to. These are standards in their box. Wildman was our other one. He's not as much of a tournament fisherman, but he's a fisherman through and through, and he's out there. He's fishing just as much as the tournament guys. And he's, as a YouTuber, he's still fishing for a paycheck. So he needs stuff that's going to produce. And, so we sat down with all of them and said, hey, let's pick some stuff out. Let's say, we know this is what you're using. Can we offer it to the public? And so that's basically what we did to build the Elite line. Greg Kazuski, the previous owner, is going to be adding some to his lineup as well. And, we've got a few other guys that are right there on the verge of being in the lineup as well. But, this is guys that are, they're out there doing this professionally. So they need something that's going to work, and they put their name on stuff that's going to work.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how simple all that stuff is too. These pros use, we have every color that you could want, but some of the pros will use the craziest colors you've ever seen, and some of the pros will use green pumpkin, black, and blue, and that's all they use. So like Kelly and I just try to make sure we have something for everybody, and the Elite line was a good way to give back to some of these guys that we've worked with in the past. We've been working on it for the whole year. Our plan was to launch it this year, so it worked out really well. We have a lot of cool stuff, and we always have the ability to add more lines like that, because we want to be, the jig market's ever changing. Even though it's still a jig, there's always new kinds and new styles. We want to be able to be with those trends as they come along, and you'll see us be able to match most of those things that come out. So.
I love it. I love the call out on the pros too. Just that, they use so few colors. I don't know if you guys watch any videos from the pros talking about this stuff. It's hilarious to me. Every time I watch it, they're like, yes, here's black and blue, and here's white, and here's green pumpkin. That's all I use. I'm like, yo, what? I've got like 50 colors in my box. What am I doing wrong? Because I'm not winning millions of dollars.
I'm not winning thousands of dollars.
I'm not even winning dozens of dollars.
What's $1?
I'm not even.
And there it is. So we all work for 5 cents an hour, you guys. You already know that. We told you about that.
I freaking love it. So, the other question I have too is like, what makes a jig like kind of a premium jig versus like, grab it off the shelf like cheapo jig?
There's a lot of different things, and if you just grab them and look at the packaging real quick, you probably would never. You'd notice a few things, but you would never notice all the work that Kelly puts into a lot of these jigs. And the thing that's done is like once these jigs are poured, they're powder coated and they're baked, so that paint is baked on. And we actually re-drill the weed guard so it's at the right angle, and it's placed by hand into actual metal, so it's not just like epoxied onto paint. It's placed in the metal. It's the right angle. We've cut all the weed guard holes into all of our molds to make sure that they sit tight against the thing. We use the same, basically the same keeper on every one, high quality keeper, high quality hook. And I think it's just, you can take a Walmart jig and you can grab it, you can rip it apart, right? But that's $2.50 or $3. Where our jig is like $5 to $6, and you can take it, you can pull on it as hard as you can, but it's not going to come apart. And I think that shows when I showed Kelly that tournament jig. It's got 7 strands of silicone left, but it still is tied together on the collar, not pulled off. The string isn't broke. I've broken one jig of Super K the whole time I've used them in like 12 years. And it came apart, but it was only one jig. I mean, how many times have you used a Walmart jig that's come apart?
There's a junkyard of them.
There's a junk. It's called the front right corner of Paul's kayak. Basically, stuff breaks, he just throws it in this corner. It lives there all season.
I clean it out twice a season, okay?
Yeah.
No. Once. And it goes into a dumpster, like a literal, like 2-yard dumpster.
Look, my kayak is a purpose-driven machine, okay? I'm not saying that it is clean because it's never clean. It is certainly full of used everything. If you want to know what I fished yesterday, that's what's at the top of the pile. If you want to know what I fished 3 weeks ago, I could just go ahead and dig through there, and you'll find out what's back there. We get after it. We get after it. We make trash fires inside of our boats. So are you talked about like molding your own like material. So you're not buying like a crap ton of like pre-painted, pre-made hooks, bringing those in and then tying them. Like you are A to Z. Because if anybody in chat has ever gone through, or anyone listening to this, after the fact, download it. If you're listening to this, if you've ever tried to go, you can go buy all the components of a jig. I have just done it recently. You can go buy almost at any level, painted, unpainted. You can get lead and tungsten. You can get with the weed guard, without the weed guard. You can get all that stuff at different various stages of completeness and put it together yourself. We're talking about like made from scratch. We're talking about the difference between like grandma's chocolate pie and Walmart like apple bake. Like that is what we're talking about.
Yeah, like exactly. I mean, and it's hard to say, but yeah, like even the little things, like you get those jigs sometimes they got paint in the eye, right? You can't get your line through there. That's not going to happen with us. Like I said, the epoxy way up on the weed guard, where the weed guard's like a little rock. You're not ever going to get that with us, because if that wouldn't even go into the pile to get tied if something like that happens. I mean, if it has eyes, Kelly puts the eyes on himself. One side, and lets it dry, then flips it over, does the other side. I mean, it is like, you want the best quality jig you're going to get in the market, we have it. And that's just the bottom line. That's why it was so special to me when I had the opportunity to get it, So
I love that. And a testament to what you're saying right now, we've got Ella, who, again, I'm sorry I can't pronounce your last name, but moving on. Something I love about Super K is you get the quality of a $20 jig for $5 to $6, and it has been the best jig I've used. And then she mentions our discount code, Burly15. You guys, Burly15, use it. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like, I haven't been able to fish them because I just started working with you guys, and guess what? There's 7 to 8 inches of ice out there on the water. I could fish a Ned rig. You're right, I should, and I will. Paul and I are ice fishing this weekend. It's probably, I'm not going to call it out, it's close to the last ice fishing video of the season, you guys, probably.
You don't have to catch a fish to use them, Jeff. You can just throw them in the ice hole and watch them swim around.
No, you can literally watch them in HD because we have an
we're gonna aqua view them, man. We're gonna aqua view them.
Like,
we're gonna pair you guys
don't be
up.
scared.
It's going down. It's going down. We called it out early on with our boys from Rabid Baits, actually, that we were going to do this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pair you guys up with Rabid Baits. We're going to dunk them in the tank, and we're going to see what happens. Tank being this lake that we're going to ice fish. But and we'll put it on.
It's going to be like a disco down there with all that action. Holy smokes. Like, legit.
You guys seen that TikTok? There's two Rabid Baits who like dance. Anyways, we're gonna do that. So we get on Aquaview. It's gonna be good. We're gonna catch a muskie. It's a muskie lake we're going to. Nobody's catching muskies through the ice, but we're going to somehow. Just wait. Wishful thinking. It's gonna happen.
We're gonna little disco ball you can put down in front of the Aquaview there.
Love it. Then we'll drop 2 jigs down. We'll just marionette them. We're gonna make this thing happen, and then a muskie is just gonna sweep in out of nowhere and eat them up, and it's gonna be great. You guys just wait; it's happening. There's a lot of emojis in chat right now.
You guys need a friend like Kelly that'll bring. Kelly, when we went fishing last time for crappies, he brings hand-tied crappie jigs for us to use.
Yo,
like,
he was fishing for crappies with us right next to him in another hut.
What? It was a new relationship. He was not about to give us that.
He was like, let them have their fun, and I'll just be over here crushing it. And then, like, every time we came out to talk to you, we were like, yeah, we got a few. Yeah, there's a few. There's like 87 fish. Ridiculous. Yo, all right. If you guys are in chat right now, we're going to do a giveaway. So here's the deal. If you're in chat, start chatting. If you're here, start chatting. If you're not here, get here, figure it out. You messed up. If you have friends that are not here, invite them back, maybe, if you like them. But we're going to be giving away that $25 Monster Bass gift card here in just a few. We're going to ask a few more questions to our awesome guests here from Super K. So we'll hit them with a few of these while you guys chat. We'll let this build up a little bit.
Start asking some questions. We'll hit them as we see them.
Cooch says chat, and then I see chat. Thanks for starting this one, Cooch. All right, but yeah, so we're gonna ask some questions here, and you guys just keep doing it. I'll come back to you in a few minutes. All right. So what do we got? Anything?
Yeah, one of them was, do you guys tie deer hair jigs, or have you ever?
Have we? Yes. Am I going to? No.
Explain why deer hair is so much more challenging. Well, it's so much more challenging even than like feather materials, because it.
Time out. Hang on, Jeff Lauer. I gotta catch this before it disappears in chat. So Jeff Lauer, $5 super chat. Thanks, dude. During the giveaway, Corey and Kelly loving the jigs on your page. Jeff Paul Chaz, excellent and educational as always, and some good giggles. I got it. It just ran off a chat. All right, proceed.
Deer
Kelly,
hair.
Sorry.
Why is deer hair miserable?
Well, I mean, because it comes one at a time. You know, marabou is tolerable, but I mean, if you look at yourself after you tied up a marabou hair jig, more of it's on you than is on the jig. Deer hair, I would probably spend 2 or 3 days just trying to get that all together to put it, you know, for guys that tie flies on the regular, it's a piece of cake, but it's just.
But even when you tie flies, because I actually have a tail from, I have a whole tail from a deer that I slayed that I have been tying jigs with. And I'll tell you right now, even with a hair stacker, even with experience and unlimited time, no pressure, not having to make something that looks professional that I'm going to sell, just that I need to sell to a fish at some point in the water, like moving it around, even a long shank hook can be really challenging. And if you're working with 2 or 3, sure, totally different. Like if you're doing an Adams or whatever, not like whatever. But when you are doing something with like more than like 10 hairs, it is it's like it's one of the more rowdy materials around. And it's unforgiving because everything is laser straight, like laser straight. You can see every little imperfection that you're like, as you're doing, you're like, this looks like crap. Like it's awful.
Then you pull it tight and flare it, and then you gotta cut it.
Yeah. Oh, and trimming is not even an option really, unless I'm doing something that like is like specifically meant to have that happen. It ain't happening.
We
Not
made
gonna
some
happen.
pretty ugly mothers back in the day when we first started trying to tie that thing. I remember that.
Oh, they can be absolutely brutal.
I find it hilarious, Paul, that you said with unlimited time. What can you define unlimited time and how you have it? Because we could all use the cheat code that you're.
I just don't sleep. Like everybody knows this. 2 hours.
Full of it. Even if you didn't sleep, you wouldn't even have close to unlimited time. You wouldn't even have close to limited time.
But I just meant like if you're tying jigs like even remotely commercially, right? Like if you're gonna do 100, your ability to like I'm gonna do 1 or 5. Like I'll watch a whole movie and tie 6 and be like, man, I've been really good. And like that's not gonna cut it. Like it's not gonna cut it.
Wait, time out. What is your go-to? You're tying flies.
Yeah.
What's your movie?
I see. Here's the thing. It's like it needs to be good but not great.
Not good enough that you
right because I don't want to be distracted, but I want to be like remotely entertained. So there's nothing specific, but the criteria would be something that you've seen before. So it can't be new. We're good.
He's back.
So I would say
I don't know what
I would say it has to be a movie that you've seen before or a show that you've seen before.
10 times minimum.
Yeah, and it can't be like really good, but it can't be really bad.
Yeah.
And then it needs to be at least like 2 hours. So I would say like a good example of something that I would put on would be like MASH. Or I would put on MASH. Or I would put on like that is like just
I would be interested just to watch MASH because you've never even seen it before, Paul. Come on. Like you're probably watching it like crazy.
Alan Alda's a superhero. Don't talk to me.
No wonder you only tie 6 jigs. I mean, he ties 6 jigs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, bro. MASH falls right in that category. It's good.
My brain exploded just now.
It's good. It's not phenomenal. Like I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing to watch an episode of MASH, but like I'm entertained.
At least you didn't say The Notebook or something like that.
Because and it's The Notebook.
MASH and Chaz is backing me up.
Defending MASH hard right now.
Here's another good one. Another good one would be like Avengers, but like the old ones, not super new ones. Like very good, but I've seen them like 38 times. I don't need to see it again. Yep. I'm entertained. I'll get a giggle every once in a while, but I'm not too worried about missing anything.
Look, Phase 1, Phase 2 Marvel. There you go.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Like any of those, you're great.
Or MASH.
No, literally, no one said ever except for you. It was 112 at heart.
Like, bro.
Anyway, we need to pick a winner now, so let's do this, Chaz. And then here's the deal, guys. We're gonna draw the winner. Chaz will call it out to me. We'll put it in chat.
I can email. I can actually type it. Like I can talk in chat now. Yeah.
You're gonna talk now?
Yeah.
Chaz is going to talk at you guys. We'll get a winner here in just a second. And then you guys are going to have precisely, what do you think, Paul? 3, 4, or 5 questions left? 3 questions. You guys have precisely 3 questions. They better be good. I'm going to pick exactly 3 of you guys from chat, your questions to ask to either ourselves and or Kelly and Corey. Just ask a question.
You want me to roll it now?
Come on. Are you going to type it in?
No. All I have to do is hit one button, and it says roll it, and it'll pick the winner.
Do the thing. Chaz?
Steve Miller.
Roll it? Is that our new cue? Chaz,
Steve Miller has won the giveaway.
Steve Miller has won the giveaway.
You have 1 minute. You have 1 minute to type,
Steve
so
Miller,
we know you're here.
58 seconds now to type in your name and say something.
Tell us your...
Steve.
Wait.
Steve.
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 If not, I can. Oh, I'm here. Thanks, guys.
There he is.
He did it! Yay! Every single time we do this, like we do it live, we announce the winner. It's almost like we stare at the camera and chat.
All right.
Like
Steve, post your email in chat, It'll be blurred out for everyone. I can copy and send it.
And we're gonna share it with Corey and Kelly, and you'll be on the newsletter for Super K Jigs.
Yep.
Let's get these guys some jigs.
So just post your email in chat, and I'll get it from you that way. No one else will see it, and you'll get your $25 gift card for MONSTERBASS.
There you go, and you will have that gift card within the next 24 to 48 hours as I acquire it. He did it. Nice job, brother. Can't wait to see what you buy. Tungsten or a Burly fishing hat.
Dude, so I finally got one of these. It took me freaking long enough. But these ones are great. This is like the black with the bigger logo. I'm picky about I don't really care so much about the visual, but I'm like comfort is a big deal because I'll wear this. I literally wear this every day until it turns into ash. And so, yeah, this is a comfortable hat. I have a hat that looks awesome upstairs. I've worn it 3 times because it's got like it has like a forehead. Like, I don't like it right here. I'll never wear it.
So Jeff, I already sent you the email, so you should have that by now.
All right, I'll get back to you. Congrats on winning. So, hey, if you guys are not Steve Miller, guess what? Next week, another $25 gift card. So you can be Steve Miller next week, you guys. There's plenty more opportunities, but here's the deal. We got, just kidding, the week after that, Chaz, quit reminding me of depressing times when I don't get to go live because I want to go live. But the week after that, we'll be live. So I do want to say here real quick, you guys type in some questions in chat. We're going to give 3 more questions to Kelly and Corey here and close out the show. But next week, sadly, we will not be live, and I want you to know it's all Chaz's fault. We do love Chaz, but this is completely on him. I'm just kidding. He's going on an amazing trip. We wish him the best. He's gonna have a really good time. We're super jealous of him, actually. Because
I'm going to go work for an event.
Yeah, but it's a cool event in a cool place.
I just go to Stockholm. That's it.
Josh, don't ruin it.
While we're out here bashing Chaz for absolutely no reason, one of the questions for Kelly was, "What's your favorite jig to make?"
There we go.
It's come up like 300 times.
It has come up 300 times. Specifically, Dave Washburn asked it. Paul, you got to call people's names out. Let's go.
Well, you picked the one that you can say. Good job. So, Kelly.
I would have to say, honestly, one of my favorite ones is the pink elephant because it was one of the first ones that I added to the lineup. And that thing is one of our best sellers. I'm not bragging about that, but when you look at that jig, you're like, what the hell? But people love it, and it is hot.
Catches a lot of fish. We went out the first day we were testing it, and I think Kelly...
No!
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
And then we caught some bass.
Sounds like you caught some fish. You froze up for a second, but you're back. What was the next question? I already missed it. Somebody, Gregory Whitaker.
That was a question. Why do you guys always want to know how old we are?
Yeah, that's a question.
So, all right, fine. So, Paul, how old are you?
I actually had to think about it for a second.
You didn't know,
dude. I have been literally at the border before with my wife, and we've been crossing into Canada. And they ask you every single time, like, how old are you? And every single time I go, and I look over at my wife, and she goes, "You're whatever," and I have to ask.
You're whatever.
I'm 33. There. Oh,
gosh dang it, Chaz.
I'm 33.
Chaz is such a one-upper. Anyways, so Paul's 33. I am 32. I will be 33 in April. Yeah, but Paul is officially 78 at heart. Next question that we have, and it's proven by his tackle box. So he wants the entire top row of zoomed in on the top row of the tackle wall, which is all like my grandpa's lures. And he goes for like the what do you love? You love the
minnow. So the minnow one?
The Kinchow?
Yeah. No, the huge one.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name right now, but anyways, so yeah, you love that, and then you love like the classic blue chrome Rapala lipless. Jam.
Heck yeah, dude. Or the Bill Lewis. I actually have one
Bill
tied on
Lewis.
right now downstairs.
Rattle trap.
Oh God.
100%. All right, we got one more question. Where that question at?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm looking for it. Somebody hit me with a question right now. Fish in the Southeast. We answered that question. Zip back. It's back in the episode. Oh, and Chad's supposed to answer for you too.
All right. If they're not out there, we're out of here.
All right. What else we got?
What's the square root of 69? 8 something.
All right, we're gonna close the show out. So Corey, Kelly, very important. Oh, is there one question? Oh, somebody buzzer beater.
Oh God, we'll do them both.
Go-to jig to fish with. Go.
Kelly and Corey, what are your go-to jigs to fish with?
Well, I think we covered that earlier. I mean, I like that blue that's a hot ticket. Using it. I plan on using it a lot this year unless the trend says otherwise.
Yep. Yeah, swim jig and a clack, and I have one of those tied on pretty much all year. And I have a lot of rods. I don't know if you can see them in the corner, but that's just part of them.
That was the next question. Was I think everyone should answer this one, including Chaz. How many rods do you have?
I'll go first.
That's too many.
I'll go first. I have 3. I have a regular bait caster. I have a spin cast. Then I also have a swim bait rod.
Which is the only one that ever gets used, as we know.
Yep. 100%.
Kelly, what's the count at these days?
I mean, on the boat, I try to keep it simple. So I mean, I got usually 2 bait casters, 2 spinners. I mean, I got an ultralight for my trout fishing, and then a couple of heavy, catfishing type trolling rods. So
you're like the maybe dozen tops, 10, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I got probably more leaned up in a corner collecting dust that I don't use than I actually use.
I like it. Jeff?
I literally just had to look at my wall, and then I realized that I just ordered like 12 rods.
So while you're thinking about that number, someone asked best bait for St. Clair. Absolutely is a worm. It's not even like a live worm. It's not close. You can do literally anything with it. But if you're not fishing, if you're not doing live bait, and you're looking for smallies, this is not sexy. Berkeley flatworm drop shot or paddle tail 1/4 or 1/8 ounce jig, and I swear or a Super K jig. You got options, but I'm gonna
worked with so we worked with JC Drop Shot last year.
Yep.
And he fishes St. Clair. That's one of his lakes, obviously. So that Calico MB was specifically built to work around St. Clair.
That's a good. I will own that one. I'll give you that one too. And I'll just say it's from experience. Like I fished St. Clair for the past like 6 or 8 years. So those would be my go-tos. And the reason I say that is because mostly you're really targeting specific spots with those lures. You're not searching. If you don't know what you're doing, it's spinnerbait. But like if you don't know what you're doing, or if you know what you're doing, you've got good electronics, those would be my go-tos.
100%. So, real quick on my rod situation, I have a bunch coming from a certain company. You guys will find about later when I do an unboxing, whenever that happens. But it's currently like in the 18 to 20 range because I have a bunch of like really old rod and reel setups that are more just they stay here and they look pretty kind of deal, as well as like mostly I use like 6 are my go-to, right? There's 4 bait caster setups that I use, and there's 2 spinning setups. That's pretty much it. If you count fly rods, I've got like 4 or 5 of those that I use. So you do too. Don't look
I didn't even
off.
think of. No, I have more than that. I didn't even think about that because I was doing
exactly.
I was trying to figure out my number, and I was like much lower. But now
you just built a rack that holds 12.
Yeah, something like that.
Minimum?
No, there's still 3 open spots. I think I'm at yeah, I think I'm probably in like the dozen range, and then I've got probably 6 fly rods, and those all get used. All but one.
Yeah.
I think all but one of them I just gave one away today, actually.
You
But
did.
yeah,
That was cool. You guys check out his Instagram. So Paul_J_glass. Cool story. I really enjoyed that one actually. Oh my gosh, this guy. Chaz wasn't even in the room.
that's why you
Chaz
can't
was
shred
not.
him. You can't shred Chaz like that. He
He
does all
wasn't
the work.
even in the room, and he posted this thing. It's ridiculous. I do want to say, Greg Whitaker, the G-Crack Bellows Gill. Can't wait to try him. If only someone had ordered a whole bunch of those that they could show you on an unboxing video soon. Maybe. You know, those things are friggin' expensive, but I hope
Yeah.
they're sweet because I've
They
seen
look-
so many posts about them and they look so good. I want to fish them really bad. So I did just pick up a heck ton of those, and you guys are gonna see a video on that soon. Probably next week or so, because it's from Tackle Warehouse. So it's gotta be by the end of next week. I'll probably get that one up.
So
Cool.
are we good? Because one thing before we wrap up, one of my questions that I want to make sure we get out there is, Kelly, Corey, where should people go to look at some Super K Jig equipment?
SuperKJigs.com, baby.
And maybe
Yeah.
Instagram as well?
Yep.
Yeah, SuperK_jigs, I think, on Instagram. I think it's just SuperK.
Yep.
Yeah, underscore. I looked it up to tag you guys, I think, this week sometime. So yeah. It's in chat, you guys. Chaz
Sweet.
does the things. He makes the thing go.
Yep.
All right. So awesome. So you guys should definitely go check these guys out. Go check out superkjigs.com, order some jigs, use Burly15 as your code, get 15% off, give us a kickback. We'll use it to buy other cool stuff. And you know we're going to be fishing these jigs this year. So you just plan on it. The ice goes away. There's going to be jigs hitting the water. But we did just promise on this episode that we're going to fish the Ned rig this weekend.
Yes.
On a big old lake where there are muskie, pike, bass, everything. And I don't know. Why not?
Let me add them.
Let me add them. So it's going to be fun. So, guys, stay tuned for more stuff like that. Again, tomorrow, you're going to see the Debo's fishing unboxing. It's going to be a great video. Hopefully, you guys watch it and enjoy it. If you like it, let me know, and I'll post more like that. I will cold call people. Also, I had a few, call outs for people that should be on the podcast. We're taking that into consideration. We will bring those up. We will cold call them. Chaz, gosh. Somebody send Chaz a 30-pack. Chaz, what's your P.O. box? Post it in chat. You did? All right. Send me it. I'll send it to Chaz. I'll pay shit. Ooh, Steve Miller. There we
Sweet.
go. Thank you, brother. Awesome.
Unless he put another one in. He put it in a couple of days ago, and I just got it in the mail today.
Ooh, maybe he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it come through. Oh, shit. Steve Miller came in and ordered.
Kelly's got you, bro.
Yep.
Kelly's got you. All right, guys. Well, hey.
He's a smoker, he's a toker, he's a midnight joker, and he's a fisherman.
I love it. So Corey, Kelly, thank you so much for your time. You guys have been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you guys had fun. If you did, come back here not next week, the week after.
But it'll be up for you to download, and you can listen to the show.
Well,
It's out there.
We
What
will
you
also
can do
have
for us-
we will have a recorded show coming out on Thursday, and it will hit the downloadable areas as well. Most likely Friday, I'm guessing, Paul. I don't know when you put them out, but
Yeah,
we will
same
have
time
a
Friday for the download. Yeah.
we will have a show for you on Thursday. It will just be uploaded like a normal YouTube video would be.
And here's how you can help us. You guys still watching? Throw us some questions on Instagram. DM me on IG. Tag us on IG. In fact, I'm going to post on IG this week, I think, just like a little Q&A, right? So you guys can hit me in your stories with a question that you have for me, and I can respond to that via stories. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And maybe we incorporate a few of those if they're really good. But if you guys have other questions, just hit me on IG, and I will bring it up on the podcast. And Paul and I Yeah.
We're gonna have them.
So we do have other questions. We'll save from you guys from your chat tonight. If we didn't answer it today, we'll answer it on that podcast as well. And Paul, we have a topic, right? Something we're talking about?
Yeah,
Stuff,
it'll be
things,
really creative and very intelligent and entertaining.
engaging. Yes, we're gonna use keywords and terms that you guys
That's
enjoy.
my way of saying I haven't thought of it yet. You'll find out next week.
Wait,
Oh
what?
no. It depends on what
Wait,
time
who asked
we
this?
can't. No one. We can't have my. Oh,
We
God.
should have our wives on. No delay 69.
This is
Nice.
absolutely from
Wants us to
somebody-
have our wives on.
This is from somebody who's not married.
Let's think about that one because
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I kind of like
yeah.
the idea. Nope, I like it.
We'll think about it.
Nope, we're doing it. All right, it's called out. It's happening. You guys will see our wives in the next episode. Probably, definitely, maybe. But hey, here's the deal. Thanks for watching tonight. There will be more giveaways, not next week, but the week after. We'll be back live, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be a ton of fun. We hope to see you guys there again every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, except Chaz.
Yeah.
I'll do a giveaway. All right,
Take
so we'll
us
do another
out.
giveaway next Thursday. We're going to make this thing happen. You guys will take care of you. Don't worry. We got you. Like, subscribe, smash the thing, do the stuff, ring the bells. Also, 5-star reviews. Thanks for watching tonight. You guys are awesome. Chaz, take us out.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I'm sad to say I'm sorry, so lie. Pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day. I'm sick of all these lies. Don't care if I capsize. There's nothing left for me to hide. Don't wanna live a lie. Too many lows, too many highs. Too many things to criticize. And so I leave it all behind. Don't wanna live a lie. Life kept spitting at my feet and forced me down a dead-end street when all I had went up in flames, burning only dark remains. I cover up every part of my skin, oh, 'cause I don't like the person within, oh. I know I'm the one to blame. All I can do is take the shame, oh. Do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I'm too sad to say I'm sorry, so lie and pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day. Whoa, I'm sick of all these lies. Don't care if I capsize. There's nothing left for me to hide. Don't wanna live a lie. Too many lows, too many highs. Too many things to criticize. So I leave it all behind. Don't wanna live a lie. A lie. sick of all these lies. Don't care if I capsize. Oh no.
Got enough of every melody, they all sound the same. Yeah. For my broken heart, no remedy, but maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. Oh, my darkest memories, now let me fall back. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. We can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good. Yeah. What's on the other side of inhibition? Ooh, I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so cool.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running